Hello there. So in today's episode, we're going to be looking at math operations in Java. As you can see, I've made your basic Java structure. And yeah, if you watched the previous video, you would realize the scanner here has changed a bit, meaning here we had KB, but now we have scanner. This is just to show that you can name this whatever you want, except don't put numbers here. So now we're going to start with your basic math operations. So the intro. Welcome to the math operations program. This program will show you how basic math operations work in Java, right? Next, you have your input, which is where your user needs to input, where you're going to ask the question by saying system.out.print brackets, inverted exclamation, not these things, inverted commas. I think they're called inverted commas. Into the first number, your first number, double, it's a double number. uh, Number one, um, this is the name we're gonna give it, the variable, and then scanner dot next double, and then the brackets there. So the reason we're giving it a double and not an int is because we're gonna be doing multiple math operations, so it's better to use a double than an integer. Such as if you're working with money as well, better to use a double instead of an integer. If you're gonna work with age, it's better to use int. If you're going to work with something that's going to be whole numbers without any decimals, use int. But if it's going to have decimals, use double. So now we have your second question into your second number. You see number one, number two. You have two numbers because it's math operations, and obviously you need more than two numbers, more than one number. Sorry. Addition. So this is your addition sum here. So we're going to create a new variable called sum, which is double sum equals number one and number two. These are going to be the inputs from your user, and then this is just a print out to show addition adds two numbers together. So system.out.print line number one plus this is just the statement. It's going to print this as the statement plus number two plus equals sum. So it's going to take the calculation you have here and put it here, and then here it's not going to do the calculations even though it has the plus there. The plus here is not for calculations. This one, it's to add everything together, everything here, to make it be on one line and basically concatenate it, put it on one line. And this one, it's in inverted commas because it's a statement, or rather it's a the statement is going to print exactly how it is. So we're gonna go to next, which is subtraction, right? We have your subtraction here, which is you double your variable, which is called difference, number one minus number two, right? So subtracts the second number from the first number, as you can see there. Same printout statement is the same thing, except the signs here have changed, or the statement signs here have changed, and the total here has changed to difference because it's subtraction. But you can name it whatever you want here. All variables, you can name them whatever you want, just don't put numbers on them, or at the no, at the beginning of them, right? So double multiplication. So this is your multiplication sign right here, the hash, not the hash, the star thing, or the asterisk. Product equals number one times number two. This here you can put it anyway. Also here, since the numbers aren't given to you, so this is your subtraction sign, your addition sign, and your multiplication sign. Same thing, same printout statement right here. So now we're gonna go to here. These are called if statements, which we'll get into later on. So these are they're not you don't focus on them right now. You'll focus on them later on. So we have your division, which is very complicated because we have multiple divisions here. We have your regular division, which is this one, and you have your modulus division, which is the division sign itself, and the slash here is the regular division in Java. So your if statements, basically it's for if this is not true, then print out this. If this is true, then print out this. Same thing here. If this is true, print out this. If it's not true, print out this. So your if statements are they're gonna have conditions, but I'll explain them later on. So the condition here is if number two is not equals to zero, right? If it's not equals to zero, then print out this. If it is equals to zero, then print out this. Cannot divide by zero, right? So if it's not equals to 0. So let's just say the number here it's 5 or 2. The quotient here is going to say number 1 divided by number 2 divides first number by the second number. So number 1 divided by number 2 is going to give us our answer here, which is our variable double quotient. So now the else statement, if this number here, number 2, if the user enters 0 for number 2, it's going to print out an error. You cannot divide by 0. You cannot divide by 0. Now your second if statement states if has the same condition, right? Literally the same condition, but this time there's a difference. It's using by the calculation, it's using the division sign, which stands for modulus, which gives you the remainder of these two numbers after division. This one gives you the actual division. So let's say here is 2 divided by 5, it's going to give you 2 as the answer. Here 2 divided by 5 is going to give you 1 as the answer, because 1 is the remainder from 2, 2 and 1. So here it's going to modulus divide right here. That this is the calculation. Remember, this is in all of the calculation, in all the statements, the calculation has been the first one, and then there's a message afterwards, and then there's the actual printout statement. So error cannot perform modulus division with a 0. And then a little thank you message, thank you for using math operations. So now let's test it out and see what happens. Copy, let's compile it, hopefully no errors, which it shouldn't give you any errors. Oh, sorry, that's not an error, that's human error right there. There we go. Now it's compiling. See, it says it prints out my messages, welcome to math operations, and this program will show you the basic math operations. So let's enter a number. Let's say I enter number 1 is 80, number 2 as 20. Enter. So now 80 plus 20 is 100. 80 minus 20 is 60. 80 times 20 is 1600. 80 divided by 20 is 4. 80 modulus by 20 is 0 because there'll be no remainder from this division. Thank you. So now I want to compile it again and test out something. Let's say 80 again, but the second number we're gonna put 0 right there. So addition 80, 0 plus 80 is 80, 0 minus 80 is 80, times 0 times 80 is 0. You see here, cannot divide by 0 as the error, cannot perform modulus division by 0. So now let's run it again, and let's just say the first number is going to be 20, and then the second number is going to be 120. Let's see. 20 plus 120 is 40. 20 minus 120 is negative 100. Yeah. 20 times 120 is 2400. 20 divided by 120 is 0 point whatever that is, 666, and 20 modulus by 20 equals 20. So thank you for using the math operations. So there you go. Shouldn't have done that. So there you go. So now you can play around with it, right? But you don't need to have the if statement. Don't put it in. But if you wanna put it in, just pause the video and look at it. And yeah, this is how. Let me just unzoom it a bit so you can see the whole code. Okay, that's a bit too much there. So this is the code. You have your input right here. You allow the user to enter by calling the scanner class, and then you ask them again. You can ask the user once, and then you can initialize, let's say, number 2 as, you can just go here and say let's just show you, double number 3 equals 40. Yeah, 40. There we go. Now you can use 40 as well in the number 3 in the calculations. You just have to add it here. Like if you want to add it here, you can just say plus number 3. Same for all the other calculations. You can just put it there, but I'm not sure if it's gonna work here. 3 divisions in one line, it's not really, yeah, gonna be very useful for you, so don't do that. So for the times, the multiplication, and the subtraction, please do try it. Yeah, that's it for today.